Welcome back to another episode of the series on how to make the best AI videos with AI models and how to monetize them correctly. Now today we're going to be going over conversions again. This is part 2 of this episode and we're going to be looking at VEO3. Now VEO3 is made by Google and it is something that's come out very recently in 2025, so it is almost evolving within the space and it is the next evolution, which is obviously very impressive. So today we're going to be covering a few things. I've already done a video on my channel about this previously, but we're going to be revamping it and adjusting it just because this was made 2 or 3 months ago and this industry is ever evolving. So make sure you follow along today because we're going to be making voice as well as movement in the same clip to make it look extremely realistic. Similar to Dreamina, we don't need loads of these videos on our page because I obviously know this platform is quite expensive. But if we get a few of these AI videos on our Instagram page or on our social page or even out as an ad, the conversions from customers is going to be significantly higher. The audience is going to be able to engage a lot more with this model and almost mimic real models themselves. So this is why it's extremely important to learn these type of skills to help with conversions. So hopefully you guys enjoy this episode today. Once again, it's a VEO3 special, so keep your ears peeled for any updates within the strategy and hopefully you enjoy. So today is actually going to be a PowerPoint, but firstly I'm going to be showing you some of the stuff once again on this series. So once again, we've been over episode 1, been over episode 2, now we're on episode 3 of conversions. We've been over Dreamina on how that's going to help with conversions. Now we're going to go over VEO3. Now VEO3 is the newest update to the kind of AI industry in terms of revolutionary kind of technology, which is obviously very good. VEO3 allows you to make movement and talking at the same time, which none of these can really do. Clean, you can do it, not very effective. Runway, you can do it, not very effective. Obviously WAN 2.2 can do it, but that's very new and not as good as VEO3. And then Dreamina, it can't really do it either. So VEO3 is very unique in the fact that it's making movement and talking together. So we're going to go over a PowerPoint, and this PowerPoint is basically going to cover how you're going to do this. It's quite in depth, so please kind of keep your eyes and ears peeled. And once you've made these videos, you can pin them to your Instagram page or the main funnel or location of attracting customers, and this is going to help with conversions a lot because people are going to see the realism. Once again, they buy into realism. People love that realistic kind of look of the model and they're definitely going to convert. VEO3 is massively upgrading and massively growing, so in the next 2 to 3 months you can probably see me putting out another video on VEO3 just talking about how things have improved and how we're going to be able to use it a lot more. But this is definitely the future of AI video and you should be excited for this episode. Once again, stay tuned for the future episodes here. So let's get into this. Firstly, if you haven't followed me on Instagram, go check that out, toby.now. I do loads of little tips and tricks regularly on there. So if you don't want to watch whole long form YouTube videos, that's kind of the place you want to be going. So let's get into this and let's make the best AI model on VEO3. So firstly, why AI models need to be realistic. Now there's a few reasons why, but it depends on the industry that you go into. If you're going into the film industry, it's obvious why you want it to be realistic. If it looks AI, no one really cares. So you want that realism so that you can use it for trailers, for films, or whatever you want to do. When it comes to OnlyFans or for the fan view world, because I know that is a massive thing when it comes to AI influencers, you want it to look realistic to build that trust and to have that kind of relationship status, which everyone loves so much nowadays. Still baffles me. And if you want to go into any other industry, it's always just cool having that realistic model. As you can see, that model there on the left, her face is very AI. This is something that you would have seen a few years ago. But if we go back a slide, this is obviously a lot more realistic. So let's aim for this realistic and realism as much as possible. And that is where the certain prompt structure is going to come in. So you want to be as authentic as possible. People can feel your authenticity. If you're faking it till you make it or all of this kind of stuff, people realize this very quickly. It gives out that toxic vibe. So you want everything to be as smooth and as accurate as possible. If it is not 100% 10/10, it's not the end of the world. But if it's like a 5 out of 10, you probably want to regenerate. So early 2023 is kind of when me and Kyle started this AI journey. Back in the day, the influencers were very, very low quality. You'd be surprised at how far it has come in such little time. So I'm sure there's going to be better technology out soon, but learning this tech to get the most realistic models now is very good. Building trust, obviously very important when it comes to like the intimacy and also virality. If you have not got a good model, then it's not likely to go viral, because everyone's attracted towards that ultra realistic, and then kind of relate because it looks human. So you want to build that trust with the audience. And then engagement through controversy. If it looks very realistic, people are going to pause. They're going to think, is this AI? Is it not? They're going to be looking in the comments, they're going to be liking, engaging with all your posts, which is exactly what you want to be able to go viral and get more views. So whether that's a trailer or whether that's a reel or anything like this, having it in a very realistic way is going to help with all sorts. So let's get into the prompt formula to be able to make these models as effectively as possible. So when it comes to Google VEO 3, is quite a specific prompt that you want, but you don't want massive, bulky, long paragraphs. I know old generators back in the day, they wanted, like 100-word essay. This, you want to keep it quite short and sweet, but also very specific. So when it comes to the first thing you want to mention, that is the subject. So as you can see here, young British woman with light blonde hair and some freckles. That's kind of what you want to be aiming for, just a brief description of the character. Now I can show you how to make a bit of consistency later on, but that is the main objective, is just to get that brief, small description of that person. Next you want the action, so that's what they're doing, where they are. So are they jumping out of a plane with a GoPro, or are they sitting on top of the pyramid, or in this example, behind a desk in an office, where I'm sure a lot of people watching this are probably sitting right now. Next, we want to aim for the camera POV. Now this is quite important that we do this correctly. AI is very diverse and they can do many different camera angles, drone, POV, all of this kind of stuff. So you want to have this quite specific. So camera, cinematic lighting in front of the model or in front of the woman or the man or whoever the character is. That's what I'm going with, a very basic one. But if you are doing top of a pyramid, maybe like a drone POV flying just above the model, focusing down on her or some shit like that is exactly what you want to be doing. The environment, that's pretty basic, just what's in the background, what she's holding, all of this kind of stuff. Holding a coffee, smoking a cigarette, that kind of stuff. Dolphins in the background, very basic, that doesn't really need an explanation. And then the speech. Now this is such an advanced AI software that you can actually have these models speaking whilst moving. This is unique to this platform, no other platforms do this, so VEO is so significant in this kind of area because it increases the realism tenfold. You can now not just make very realistic images like this, but you can also have them talking and moving at the same time. So it's very hard to even tell that they are AI. So if you combine all of these together, that is obviously going to be the most effective way to be able to get a good VEO prompt for your AI videos. So 3 effective video types that we're going to aim for. Now first one is like that mini vlog kind of style. People love that. I don't know what it is. It's just that very personalized, engaging videos that people love. Mini vlogs is the key word. We don't want to be there for a long period of time, mainly because AI is not perfect yet, and longer vlogs will be very obviously AI, which we don't really want. Once again, we want to keep that realism. So having shorter snippets throughout the day and then voiceovers on events is a lot better. For example, 10 seconds of the model chatting bollocks in her bedroom, then that kind of flicks straight to maybe some montage images or videos made from Kling of the model doing her day-to-day life with maybe a voiceover, and then we go back to another small vlog kind of section, which will be absolutely perfect for any kind of YouTube video or TikTok or whatever. That brings us on to the next one, TikTok dances. These are pretty cool when it comes to VEO3. Now, Kling and other AI video generation platforms are very good. However, this VEO, it just takes the cherry off the cake. But VEO3, it does take the cherry on this one. It is the best, especially if you get a bit of talking in there as well, or lip syncing a song, or whatever you want to do. But include that within the dance, and it does look incredibly realistic, which is exactly what we want. 10/10. And then interviews. Interviews, they're already in a studio, so they're already 10/10 camera, they're already 10/10 lighting, which is very easily replicated with AI. So having that kind of podcast interview vibe or whatever is very, very powerful as well. And it looks extremely realistic, because normally if you look at this model here, I can't really tell if that's AI or not, because it's normally that level of quality, which is very, very good. So they're 3 very effective types of AI videos that you want to be aiming for. Obviously you can do other ones, you can do models sitting on top of a pyramid. It's obvious that it's AI, but it's going to get views. People are going to love it. In fact, I made a little video of me riding a lion one time, talking. People love that. Very, very good. So having these controversial or realistic - non-realistic images, videos are also very, very good. So creating them, get creative. I'm sure some of you are artists or been in that kind of area, bit more creative than me. Go for it and see what you can create. But let's go into like the video usages. So once again, film creation or that kind of OFM, fan view kind of vibe, is the main 2 areas that you want to cover. Now, if you're going for the mainstream stuff, we're trying to make a influencer or maybe trailers or anything like that, then VEO is kind of 10/10 for this. It's going to work very, very well. However, if you're just going for that kind of AI influencer, girlfriend kind of vibe, which everyone spends thousands of pounds on per month, then you can also do that. That's absolutely fine. They kind of intermix a little bit, because you can kind of get that mini vlog going for the girlfriend experience, but you can also create some films and trailers, and obviously the influencers can convert across. So either or, whatever you want to do, they're both very useful for these 2 topics. But this is why it's quite good to use like features like multi-shot feature. Now, this isn't actually on VEO 3 at the moment, but you can quite easily implement it into your footage by using the same image but having different prompts. So what you can do is, instead of having one long form piece of content for like 5 minutes of the model talking, it's going to be very hard to keep that consistent and realistic. However, having a multi-shot feature where you jump between frames and different scenes pretty quickly is going to be very, very good, and it's going to be perfect for trailers or any kind of film creation that you have there. And this is going to kind of upgrade your game, mean that people don't realize that it's AI until they're halfway through, and then they're amazed. So that's kind of a very unique point to get views. So before we get onto character consistency, let's actually run through the generator a little bit. So you want to head over to Google Chrome. Now this is where you're going to be launching it. Now I've created 2 videos here. One is VEO 2 and one is VEO 3, because I want you guys to get used to this platform and kind of get a good idea of what is good, what is bad. So this is where we'll be putting our prompt down the bottom here, and this is where we'll be selecting our quality. Now if we do VEO 2, it's slightly lower quality, as I can show you with this video here. Let me just press play. As you can see, it's not as good on lighting. It looks quite realistic, but it's all quite twitchy, random, not really formatted in the way we want, which is fine. It's a good video, but VEO 3 is a lot better. So we do want to get that quality up. So let's select this one here. I would not recommend selecting fast, mainly because it's just going to drop the quality significantly. Be patient. I know it's hard, guys, but be patient. Get that VEO 3 quality level on. You can do multiple at the same time, but I think that's a waste of prompts or a waste of money. You want to have that accuracy in prompts. So let's just do, once again, be patient, get this one video generated at a time, and insert your prompt here. So these were the exact same prompts here, but we're going to play the VEO 3 one now and show you guys the effect.
I hate working here, but it gets me money.
So as you can see, it is very, very good. It's added text in based on the location that we put the woman in, British accent, which is very good. It's good realism. I asked for cinematic lighting, so the background's blurred a little bit, which is great, and it's focused on her face. So it's all very, very good in this one. Any improvements? Maybe a little bit, but overall I'm fairly happy with that. And if we put that into like a fast trailer montage, that'd be absolutely perfect. It even expresses some emotion near the end here, as she's very upset that she's at work behind the desk. Anyways, let's get back to how do we get these prompts so we can have a consistent character. So this is a little hack that not many people know about, and it's probably what you've been waiting for. It's very hard to get facial consistency, and me and Carl have obviously been working in this business model since 2023, So we've worked out small little hacks that allow you to get good consistency with models' faces, especially when it was 2023, there was like one image generator and we had to try make consistent faces. We've worked out how, and we're basically applying that method to this PowerPoint here. So character consistency hacks. Firstly, we want a detailed description of the face. Now no, this isn't 100-word essay, 5 paragraphs worth of information. This is just a very accurate, short section which is specific to that model's face, which we can use ChatGPT for. It's very, very helpful. I'm sure you guys aren't great at describing the character's face, so ChatGPT will do that for us. And this is going to help with obviously consistency across any generator. Any generator you use, having that consistent prompting on the face will always help. I'm sure you guys know that from Focus or anything like that if you've ever experimented. Now, using ChatGPT is going to help, obviously, because we can keep that prompt consistent, because we can train a thread. Now, I'll cover this in a little bit more detail in a minute, but training threads allows you to maintain the same prompt, but in different environments, which is brilliant. And then applying face swap technology. Things like face fusion is going to be great, probably your best friend, because you can accurately face swap the video that you make on VEO 3 over into Face Fusion to then make a face swap of your model, which is great. Google VEO 3 does not do not safe for work, so obviously you don't need to have any problems there, because a lot of people don't use Face Fusion because it's only PG, but that's absolutely fine because so is VEO 3. So let's go across to that and we can do a face swap there. I can show you how to do this in another video. I'm not going to sit here for half an hour face swapping on Face Fusion. It's a bit pointless, a bit of waste of time. We're here to get this consistency straight off the bat. Now, a lot of the time from this step 1 and step 2, you're going to get a fairly consistent face anyway, and it's going to look like your model. Maybe not 10/10 spot on, but it's going to look, roughly like your model. So it's going to make this face swap a lot easier. The face swap tech, obviously very advanced nowadays, but if you're having that consistent model that already looks very similar to your AI model, it's just going to make it that much easier to be able to change them small little features across. So let's get into training the ChatGPT thread. Let's get into leveraging ChatGPT to get better results. So what you need to do is train a ChatGPT thread. Now we can do this via transcripts on YouTube, which is the easiest way to do it. ChatGPT needs information, and the best way to get information is from long form videos like this one or like other ones that you've seen online. Put that into ChatGPT, and then that can train it up and make that thread very specific to your needs, which is perfect. So yeah, once it understands everything, you can then start asking it a few questions about prompting. Now you can firstly train it to your specific needs, insert an image of the model, ask it to replicate this image in prompt format, and then what we can do is slowly adjust that into VEO 3, which I can show you now very shortly. But that's kind of what you want to be doing to get this perfect prompt. And we can even feed it the little prompt format that I showed you earlier back here with the subject, action, camera, and speech, which I'm actually going to screenshot this slide. I'm going to chuck it into ChatGPT and say, can I have it structured in this way, which is going to be very helpful. So let me do it now. So let's train the ChatGPT thread first. Now I've already got one trained, but I'm going to retrain one and just show you like a small example. So I've typed in what is VEO 3 and we're going to find some videos. Now I know quite a good video off the bat, so I'm going to go find that one, get the transcribe, and then put it into ChatGPT. Sweet, so I found a video here. What you want to then do is click more, come down all the way to the bottom and see transcription or transcript. You then obviously want to open that and then copy this across into your ChatGPT thread. Pretty easy. So I've got a new one here, I'll just chuck that in, and obviously that can then start learning. What I'd recommend doing is, just a little explanation saying like you're trying to train a thread for this, blah blah blah, as well as just chucking that in. I wouldn't just straight copy and paste it, because obviously it's just going to give you a breakdown here. So let me type out some stuff, get it trained up, and then obviously start using it. What I can also do is insert that screenshot of the slide that I had earlier so that it prompts in a very specific way. So what I'm going to do is actually go across to my main section that I've already got it trained, and I'm going to use that. But it's a very easy process when it comes to training a thread. You guys shouldn't struggle too much. So this is my currently trained one. Now what I'm going to do is retrain it on this model. So obviously it's trained on VEO 3 based on the transcripts, which is great. Now I'm going to do it based on the model. So this is the same model that we saw at the start. Obviously I'm going to use this face here. It's very realistic, got some freckles, blonde hair, blah blah blah. You guys can see that. And then what I'm also going to do is prompt it to structure it in this kind of way. So I'm going to type in now, describe this model in prompts, and then it's going to start kind of working that out for VEO3. Something as simple as that. So it's going to start prompting that image based on that structure, which I'll obviously be able to skip to once it's loaded. Nice one. So it's then generated a result based on that character description, which is very good. So now we want to keep that consistent. So now we're going to tell ChatGPT, I want to create multiple prompts for this consistent character that you just described, and maybe even put the description back in, and then say like, I'm going to change the environment. So let me do it now and I'll show you guys the result. So I've just typed in, I want to make some consistent prompts based on this character in the description. Obviously I just sent the description that ChatGPT gave me. Remember this for the next few prompts I request. So I'm going to send that just so ChatGPT knows it's obviously getting trained and it knows what's going on. If we just start randomly asking it questions, it's going to try refer back to maybe older pictures or anything like that within the data set. So there we go, updated and saved to memory, which is good. So now we're ready to get some VEO prompts. So what do I want? Let me have a little think. So something like this, can you make a VEO prompt of a model vlogging in front of the pyramids? And then I got like a rough idea of what I wanted to say. You know, she likes it, but it's too hot. That's meant to say. But that's going to generate that prompt, which it's doing now, which is brilliant. As you can see, it's quite short and sweet, nice and easy to then chuck straight back into the into VEO3. But if this isn't what you like or what you want, you can obviously adjust that. So less description on the model or something like that, and that can help emphasize the background or emphasize the POV or the camera angle or anything like this. It can be easily adjusted if need be, but I'm just going to go over this for now. Obviously first attempt, let's see how it goes. I'm going to chuck it in. It's already set to VEO3, and what I want to do is also get this text here and chuck that straight in. So there's my prompt. It's quite a long prompt, but we're going to go over it anyway. Now that's going to generate, takes a few minutes. It may not come out perfect first time, but let's have a little look. I'll jump back when it's all done. Right, nice one. So this is finally generated. It didn't actually take too long, probably about 5 minutes, which is surprising. A lot of platforms do take a lot longer, believe me. But this is the video here. Let's check it out.
This is actually insane. Like, I love it, but why is it hotter than the surface of the sun?
Nice one. So that's actually pretty good. In terms of facial realism and consistency, it's not too bad. But what I'm going to do is download that and I will upscale it and then obviously play it back over the clip so you guys can see the actual quality. But let's go over some improvements. So firstly, I obviously wanted this model to be British. But if we go back to our prompt, there isn't anything stating the language that, or where she's from. So that is our first mistake. If we want that British accent, then we obviously have to state that within our prompt. So one stage to improve on. The second one is obviously the face doesn't look identical. So she's probably got a little bit too many freckles, but that cross is still there, which is good from the image. And her face and hair shape is fairly accurate. So then obviously have that upscaled version, and then we then face swap it to make the end product, which is obviously very good. But this image of the model here, it's got lots of freckles. So if we did want to change that, maybe we do one with slightly less freckles, so that it doesn't obviously emphasize the fact that there's some minor freckles there. But overall, I think that's a pretty good little vlog. People are going to be fairly impressed with the pyramids in the background. Everyone loves these kind of tourist attractions, and she is filming from like a POV position, which is obviously exactly what we asked for. The background isn't too bad either. There's people walking around. They're not all mutated. They're actual individual people, which is quite unique to AI. And yeah, overall, I'm fairly happy with that result. So then if I want to make some more videos, I use the same prompt structure, maybe type in that she's British and do it in different locations. Right, so I've generated another video. I forgot to put British accent in again, so just, allow me. But that's generated. It's not too bad, we'll show you. I'm regenerating it though because of one specific thing. So let me show you.
Oh, look, there's an actual turtle just vibing. He's literally living better than me right now.
So that is pretty cool. The face is once again fairly similar and can easily be face swapped to make it a lot better. Obviously the accent, it's American again. Sorry you guys, I'm trying to get a British one. I'm not a massive fan of the American accent. Sorry if I'm going to get loads of down likes, but I'm regenerating. Put British woman in this time and hopefully that comes out a lot better. You also may have seen that there's some subtitles here just randomly glitching around. I don't know why, but VEO loves to do this. So if that does happen, just obviously regenerate again. Does waste a few tokens unfortunately, but you know, you can keep them if you want, but they look a bit stupid. So yeah, I definitely recommend regenerating, and we're going to wait for this one, and hopefully this one is a lot better. But yes, I also generated it first time, but I accidentally had it on VOE2. I'm not really switched on this morning. I've done one wrong there, done one wrong here. So yeah, this one on VEO2, once again, it's not too bad. Turtles are pretty cool, but there's no audio because I forgot to put it on VEO3. So make sure you adjust these settings accurately here, and that's going to help you a lot. When you do download it as well, you can upscale it, and when it's upscaled, you then have to download it again up in the top right here because it doesn't automatically download. So that's another thing that you do want to bear in mind. But let's just get this last one and then we'll wrap it up there. Here we are. So that finally loaded there. Let's watch it. It's not the best video once again, but the consistency of the face is pretty good to the original, and the quality is actually better. Having it in that kind of position as well allows the face swap to work a lot better. So let's have a look. So yeah, pretty good. No subtitles this time. Similar, you know, cross as well, earrings, same kind of description. So it's very good, and you can obviously face swap that and get it to be perfect. Once again, download it with the upscaled version. That's obviously going to download there, and then we download it again. So once again, thank you for watching the video. Remember to like and subscribe, and also follow along with this series. This series will be the best series, the best free educational product that you can get on the whole of YouTube. So make sure you follow along and apply it correctly. If you are looking to be able to gain that audience and do some marketing, there will also be another series on this channel, or head over to OFM Kyle to be able to learn a lot more about monetizing an audience and correctly extracting money from these customers, because once again, it's extremely important to be able to do that. However, this YouTube video today should have helped your conversions on your page. If you're still struggling with this, or you're struggling to bring in customers overall, then once again, the course down below is going to be able to help guide you along this journey and be able to evolve your AI model faster than anyone else within the market. So therefore, you're easily going to be able to get more customers, more money, and overall have a better end product. So once again, thank you guys for watching, like, subscribe, and I'll see you into the next episode. Next episode is most likely going to be on a few additional extras which are going to be extremely key for you to learn to be able to, once again, go along this AI influencer journey. Thank you guys, and I'll see you later.